Embroidery, and today we are going to be working on some cool stuff. We're going to be working on an angelfish. It's kind of an angelfish, not necessarily exactly what it should be, but it's still pretty cool. So, can everyone hear me okay? Don, can you hear me? Don. Don said he was going to say if he could hear me. Well, you can see me, I know that, but you can hear me. Yes? All right, so let's flip over to, let's look at our angelfish. Now, I put angelfish-ish because I thought it was kind of funny. These two on them and different stitches and whatnot, and of course different colors. I think, if you want to do a realistic angelfish, you can, get a little close. They have stripes and different things, or you can add your own flair to it. So, can anyone guess? Here's the question of the day. Can anyone guess what basic shape this started out as? So I'm talking about this outside part, the purple part and the red part. Can anyone guess? I'd like to see if anyone can guess it right, because you may or may not be a little surprised. Anyone? Triangle? Anyone else? Circle, a bottle, oval, baby bottle, circle or oval, ellipse. Anyone else? You'll be amazed. Hexagon, triangle, circle, circle, oval, oval. You could, I suppose, use that. Star, moon. I don't have a moon shape. Do you have a moon shape? No. No. All right. For those of you who guessed triangle, you are correct. That's the triangle. Shall we look at the steps that I took to make it? So with the triangle, you can still see this part is the same. I just pulled out a node. I added 1, 2, 3 nodes here, and then I did the same thing here. And this one is pulled out. So a triangle gave me the perfect start. And then I added more shapes. This is a rectangle. This is also a triangle with a few things here and there. Circle, of course. And then I filled it in and did more things to it and put designs on it. Ooh, Karina's here. Hi, Karina. Multitasking, 2 lives at the same time. I know, lots going on for everyone. So, isn't that cool? A triangle. A triangle started the whole thing. And that's what I was looking for. Just something interesting. We're going to keep working with shapes. So everything that you see when I change, the main pictures in the groups, that it's going to always start with a shape. So I thought this was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty fun to do and easy, because a lot of people say that, like, where do I start? Jackie San Pedro, hello. Where do you start? You don't have to start with clip art. You just don't. You can come up with your own thing. And again, that's why I said angelfish-ish, because it's not necessarily exactly like an angelfish, but you can recognize it as a fish, and probably because of the outside shape, you can recognize it as an angelfish. So I thought that was good enough. So remember, I am working in Perfect Embroidery Pro software by Dime. I really like it. It's easy for you guys to see everything, and all the tools are easy to find. However, you can do these classes in any software. So we're using shapes, we're using, let's see here, we're using shapes, lots of shapes, running stitches, and some decorative stitches. And tatami, and this one is satin. Let me just make it. This one, oh, the other one over there, this is, different design on the outside, but it's just basic things you can do it. Sandy accurate. I have a hard time drawing a stick person. Well, yeah, but what I want to achieve with you guys is that you start seeing shapes in everything and how you can make a few clicks and make something out of it. So lessen the use of clip art and more adding your creative style to it. So let's get started, and I'm just going to go over top so you guys can see what the goal is here. Step one and step two. It looks like a lot, but it really isn't. And I'm just going to start my own, but it'll just give you guys perspective. Now, if you want, a basic shape of an angelfish, just, kind of look at so you know what you're doing, that's fine. Don't put it in your software. Put a picture like beside your software, and that way you won't copy it. So, that's what I like. So let's do a triangle. Maybe we'll do this one a little bit bigger so we can add more detail in it. And it's a red triangle. That's not facing the right way, so we are going to make it face the right way. And it would be cool if I did it straight, but whatevs, right? Whatevs. Let's move this over the other one. Now, I had to add a few nodes in. So that's another thing. You should be working, these are shapes, they're objects. There's no stitches. There's no stitches anywhere. If your software does that, that's fine. But we want to add nodes to it. And we want to move the nodes around. Now, I don't know how well you guys can see this. Let me zoom in. I always like to try to zoom in so you guys can see the most. Oh, Ronag Paulson, thank you very much. You're always here and you always donate, so we really appreciate that. Okay, so one thing I like about this software, if you can see, I can't really zoom in anymore, but when I hover over a point, it tells me what it is. It tells me what it is, that it's a point and not, well, we don't have any stitches, so you can't do angle lines. So all I did here, let's just pull it out. I want it to be maybe about there. And of course, remember, you can play around as much as you want with this to get the shape that you want. But it really is more simple. Oh, Karina, thank you very much, Karina. You're awesome. Let's add a point. And I can see by these little dots over here, it is a curve point, and that's what we want. And we want to pull the curve in, and I'm going to make this a little shorter. These are called Bezier curves. So this is what you can do with them. And you have, once you figure out how to use them, it really, really makes it easier. It may be a little confusing until you figure it out. I'm going to have to do a class on that because it really makes it easy. I like it. So something like that has the same shape. Maybe this needs to go down a little bit more. But what I did is I added everything, all the extra points, and then, made my adjustments. So this isn't perfectly how I wanted, but with Bezier curves we can play around with it. So that doesn't look anything like that, so I am just going to, it doesn't really have to, but let's do the fiddly bits. I want these ones. Let's pull out, this is what I did before, a guideline. So I just clicked on the ruler. Most embroidery digitizing software will have guidelines. Nodes give me confusion. Why do nodes confuse you, Sarah? They are, when you go into, I call it node mode, which is, kind of silly on my part, but it just kind of makes me think of going into a whole different mode. You can add, you can move, and you will get really used to it when you are making things out of shapes, right? So I kind of like it for that. Let's go to add a point here, and we're going to try to soften this a little bit. See, that looks a bit better already. And it doesn't have to be exactly this at all. At all. I mess everything up when I click on them. Well, you shouldn't. You'll get used to it. You shouldn't. So add point. If you have Bezier curves, which are has the little handles, I guess they call it. Usually you can change it just to normal curves, but once I show you guys how to use these Bezier curves better, it'll be a lot easier to do them. See, that one's a bit tough, so I'm going to pull in and pull out. See how it changes it? Can you guys see that? So instead of moving the whole node, I can just simply adjust the Bezier curves, and I'm just pulling these handles out. And it's pretty cool once you get used to it. So you can make softer, harsher, anything like that for it without moving it and getting all mixed up. So I am starting to like my shape, except for this one. But again, if you don't like the Bezier curves, then most software will have it set up that you don't have to use them. This one does too, and if you want me to show you where, I can do that. So I'm going to bring that up a little bit. See, I'm liking this a lot better. So what I'm doing here is just kind of moving it around to make a different kind of shape. If you don't like it, just very careful. Think of a rubber band. Yep, that's exactly what Bezier curves are. So I'm gonna do the guy's mouth, I guess. What's this part? Mouth? I guess it is. Maybe I should give this one a smile. He doesn't look too happy. So I'm gonna bring that in. I'm gonna turn this into smooth so my curve comes up, and then I'm going to add one more. So only 3 points, and then we can play. And I just moved one of them, and I'm pretty happy with that. So maybe make it a little more, but see how I can do that? I'm gonna zoom right in so you guys can see that part. Let's see, zoom right in. Now everyone can see it. So you can see the handles, they end with a dot, but see when I turn it, I can define the curve without even moving the node. And that's what I like about them. That's what I think is cool. I don't know what happened here. I don't want you like that though. Let's see, about like that. But see, we can get a really good shape doing it like this. And what I like to do is bring out another guideline just so I can get them almost right. See, and doesn't that look good? And it's easier than you think. I think that's probably pretty good for that. I'm going to remove this and remove that. So hopefully you guys can see that. It takes a little practice, but we will be doing some, work on that because I think it's good to learn them. It's so much easier once you get the hang of it. It may be confusing, but remember, you guys always have to remember that you can try something, and if it doesn't work, then you can always go back and do the undo. Right here, you just click on, if you click here, you get this way, horizontal. And if you click here on the rulers, you get this way. So guidelines are handy. I always tell you guys that I use my grid normally, but I don't because it kind of, it's harder for you guys to see. So I go for clarity, and I'm going to sneeze. Oh my goodness, hold on. Let me get a Kleenex. I have allergies that are kicking up, so if I sneeze, I apologize. And if I sound all kind of congested, it's just allergies, so nobody has to worry about me on that. It's just a little bit annoying. So I kind of like his shape. And let's give him an eyeball, because I always find that eyeballs give you some focus when you get to remember that you're doing, an animal. So we could give him squinty eyes. We could give him round eyes. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be huge. So remember too, we have all objects. There's no stitching on this one yet. Oh, today is horrible with mold allergies. I hope I don't have any mold, but I slept from, and remember I am an insomniac, I slept from 7 o'clock last night all the way through till 8:30 this morning. So that's what allergies did to me. But I feel good. I feel good. So I'm kind of liking that. The shape is a little bit different, but you know what? I don't think fish are exactly the same size and shape. They're all going to look a little bit different. So let's work on his tail fin here. Now you can see how easily that's going to go on. See, I'm hoping you guys are surprised with how you can work with shapes, because it's really kind of fun, and I love doing it. It's creative, it's original, it's your own design. Now you could leave it like that, I guess. Maybe. It just kind of, I think, looks better with, we'll go into node mode, and all we're going to do is add a few points. Now I want them to be straight points. So we're going to add a point, and I can see by the Bezier curves that's not what I want. So I just clicked to line, and it's a line. And we're going to have to add, maybe that one could go up a little bit more. And you can, again, make this however you want. And let's add a point here. Some software, you can just click on it and it'll add a point. This one, we just have to tell it what we want. I'm going to bring that one way out here. Now, I'm going to click on the ruler. I'm going to bring this out because I would like these to be, you know, close as we can to even. So let's add another one. Add point and change it to line. So I'm right-clicking to get all that done, by the way. And that should be good. Can I move this guy? Can I? No, maybe not. I don't know. I want these ones to be on too, so this one needs to come out a little bit more, and then I can click on it, right click on it. No, I have to have the select. Of course I have to have the select. Remove and remove, just so you guys can see better. So yeah, this dude is a little bit different. So what are we talking about? Do I need it? It's sewing supplies from 20 years ago. Oh, making the masks. Yeah, I know. I haven't really felt up to it yet. Fabric junkie. Dawn was looking for navy blue, and we had to go through all of my fabric to try to find it because it was for production. And we realized that I have a lot of groovy fabric, but I don't have any solid colors. So that kind of sucked. I was like, oh, well, guess we got to work on that. Haha, hint, hint, Dawn. So I'm going to click on the main part of our angel and add that part, and then we're going to go to shaping. I should have said that at the beginning too. Shaping, most software should have that. Now, if I weld it, you can do it. If I weld it, it'll be all one shape, which I think would be absolutely fine. But I'm going to try trim. And that is not what I was going for. So let's get rid of that Control Z. Let's do it again. The problem is they're in the wrong order. So all I have to do is right click, order. We can move it backward. It's got to go backward a couple of times. You can drop and drag it too, but I always miss or whatever. So I just prefer to click on that. There's shortcuts. I should probably learn them a bit better, but I'll program them into my hand keyboard eventually. Haven't gone around to that. So let's try that again. And right click and shaping and trim. And that's the droid I was looking for. I might make this a little bit smaller. You can see it's not perfect. These angles are a little bit off, but if you want to, you know, fiddle around with that, you certainly can. So we're almost done. That wasn't too much. I should count and see how many nodes we moved, because it's not a whole lot. I'm gonna make this guy a whole lot bigger, and maybe should I move him to a new one? Nah, we can keep the little guys underneath. I just want everyone to be able to see this well enough. I can't do fit to screen because it'll fit everything to screen. So, okay, I kind of like it. We need one more shape before we do that. We need a rectangle. And I just thought this was cute to do right here. rectangle back into node mode, and you can simply move the nodes to match or close enough. And then I moved one up here to give it the shape. But I mean, I guess that one's okay hanging straight down. But if you look, I had a curve to it, and I really do like that much better. So let's do that. And then all we have to do is add a point, and it's going to be curved. And I'm going to add another point right here, and it's also going to be curved. And that's how you take oh, that's even good. That's how you take a rectangle and make it into a different shape. It makes it a whole lot easier than trying to digitize that point, and figure it out. You already have the basics of it done. So I kind of like that. We could bring this around to more of a point. It doesn't look like a rectangle anymore, does it? No. There we go. But I like it. Okay, so let me move this guy. Can I move him? No, I can't move all of them. I can move this guy though. Let's move before we... It's easy to see what you've selected too. This turns one color and this is left out, so I'm going to click on the control key and bring it in there, and I'm just going to do it wrong. And then move it up a little bit. Let's do that again. There we go. And when your cursor turns to a hand, that's when you can move it. So, okay, let's get back into it. Are there any questions so far? Because that looked more complicated. Oh, what do you guys make a note? We need an aquarium mug rug. He's gonna do a fishbowl. We just haven't got around to it yet. So a fishbowl with a goldfish in it. Mug rug, because I think that would be adorable. Right, Dawn? Are you listening? Dawn. Oh, okay, I had to take a drink. Sorry, my throat gets a bit sore. Darn allergies. So, now we've got stuff merged and trimmed how we want to. We don't have to trim this one. I want these parts to be different colors. So, let's start filling it in. And we are going to convert to complex fill. You know what? This guy is big enough. Let me see here. Yes, he is. We could also, at this size, because it's 7 by 5 almost, we could do applique for this. And that would be really cool if you had striped fabric. I'm thinking of that dance of the dragonfly with those groovy stripes. They were purple. I'll show you guys a picture of it after. How do you get the cursor to change to the hand? When you have it selected, you could see it just as you go over the line. If you're off the line, no, it's just a cursor. If you go over the line, it turns to a hand. The X in the middle also turns to a hand. So just move your cursor around. So let's not do red. Let's do some really bright colors. Yellow for one. So I like that. Now, one of the things I like to do, because this is going to be tatami or fill stitch or anything. Sharon Berger, I'm looking at striped fabric right now. I think it would look awesome. You just have to make it big enough to look good. You could also do the raw edged applique, and in most software you can do the applique part automatically, so I could just click on it and it would be done, but we're not doing that. Maybe we can play around with it afterwards. So this one we're going to convert to complex fill again. However, we can play around with it, and we will. Where's the eyeball? Oh, my eyeball got lost. Oh no. There it is. And it's just simply because it's in the wrong place. We got to move it to the top. I can't do, completely back because it's going to put it before everything else and I'll lose it. Because I have other things on my, still not yet, on my desktop here. So artwork, how about we convert? I would like it in satin, but I'm pretty sure it's too big for that. And it's still behind, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, come on. Get yourself together here. Me. Just me. Nope, still. Drive myself crazy. Okay, so I am going to take a shortcut and I'm going to move it to back. And it's still not working the other way then. See, this is what happens when I get allergies. I get tired. I'm tired. Should I whine? There we go. There we go. So satin right there. And white. I just was going the wrong way, which happens. Chris Yost, thank you very much. We appreciate that so much. So are there any is there any questions so far? Jackie says my software has a cross rather than a hand to move the item. But you see, you know that. So you're not looking for the hand, but you know how to move stuff. Can you guys hear the hounds outside? I'll send cheese for that wine. Hey. No, it's not Tank. Tank is actually a pretty quiet hunting dog. That was Beetlejuice, and because Beetlejuice is a beagle bloodhound, he makes all the very loud noises that a beagle and a bloodhound put together. Tank has settled in amazing. He is the happiest dog ever. Ever. It's Beetlejuice, Don says. He can't catch Tank, so he gets a little vocal about it. My husband thinks the fish has a star fart. Hey, hey, Chris Yost's husband. No, it's not. Or it could be. I don't really know what fish do, so anything's possible. All right, enough of the dogs. Isabel Brion, thank you very much. Enough of the dogs. Let's go on to this guy. Now, if there's little parts of it that you don't like, then you can change it. The first thing I'm going to change in my tatami is I want to change the angle. So, which one is the angle one? I mean, I could leave it, I guess, but... Oh, that's not it. I just grabbed the wrong one. Darn it. Right there, right there, right there. We could leave it. I haven't decided what I want to do on this one yet, so maybe we can leave it. So far that's good. I wonder if these... Hold on. Now that I'm closer up, I'm not liking this quite as much, so I'm just going to make a quick change and hit apply. That's what you always have to do. Hit apply. That may, in fact, be a little bit better. I don't know. I'm wishy-washy. I'm wishy-washy in my creativeness. I kind of like that a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to leave the angles for now. Let's convert everything that needs to be converted. Oh, I'm still in node mode. Ever do that? Yeah, I do that all the time. I forget to go back to the select key. So I'm going to do satin. It's going to split? No, it's not going to split. Red. I'm not sure if I want red. I think I want something like really weird like this blue. So we can have a really bright colored fish. Orange and yellow, maybe. And I want to make a copy of this. So I'm going to do copy and I'm going to paste, Control C, Control V. And there we go. And I'm just going to move it up and beside so we have a little bit of kind of texture on it. So this one is behind and on the other side, and this one is ahead. I kind of like it. Would you weld the tail? Well, what I said at the beginning, Cindy, you can, but it would be all one piece. Which is absolutely fine. You can decorate it, do the whole thing. I wanted it two colors, but if you don't like two colors, you can still weld them. But I just thought having the two colors just kind of added. And what I did here on these guys is I made the coloring and the designs on it opposite to that. But if you don't like it, then don't do it that way. You can weld the whole thing and make one fishy shape and it'll be fine. I would leave these two fins down here If you could possibly do it in satin, depending on the size, that would be perfect. Again, try the applique. Maybe if you were doing applique, it might be a whole lot better to have it in one piece. So it's, whatever. No, it's okay, Cindy. I probably needed to say it again. It's whatever you prefer. This is your fish, and this is why I called it angelfish-ish. First of all, I thought it was funny, but I was really tired. But, what software are you using? Is there a way to weld if you don't have that tool? Sarah Bossetti. What software are you using? Because if you're using something like Embrilliance, you can weld with the shapes. And that's how it needs to be done. So let's see if this one is the same. See, you can do combine and you can weld. So I can weld it, except for it deleted everything. So no, don't weld it. MBX5, that is like Hatch, and you should have a weld because Hatch has a weld. I don't know if they're the same or not, but you should have it. MBX5, isn't there an updated version of MBX5? It's probably there. That's probably what you want. It's probably in the updated one. I'm not sure. I've never had that software. All I know is that it is similar to Hatch. So someone said a gradient. We can do try a gradient. I don't have that on any of the other ones that I was doing. So right here we can do a blend. Second color layer, and I want number 5. So how I figured that out is right here. They're all numbered. And gradient, let's try this one. I don't know how great it's gonna look. How's that for fantastic? Yeah, I kind of like that. But of course, I can't just do one thing. I have to try something more. I have to try all of them. That is absolutely gorgeous. Isn't that neat? Yeah. I thought you had them all, Sue. I don't. I have quite a few, but man, I can't afford all of them. I would actually love to have all of them because I love to play in the software and the whole bit. Can you just use variegated thread? Sharon asked. Yes, you can if you wanted to. You'd have to make sure that to get a really good color, if your angles are up and down, it will kind of, I don't know if it'll look as good. I would change the angle sideways. So kind of like that one. It gives our guy a little texture. Shall we try one more? We're here to try things and see if we can get it. I don't know which one I like better, but we could do a whole different color too. We could do maybe color 6 and see how that looks. Creativity at its best. Well, that changes the color of the fish. It'd be really cool. Let me do this. Let me do this. What number was that? 9. There we go. Second color layer, color 9. Suzanne Shep, thank you very much. Hopefully I'm not missing anyone. I can see the bright color blocks that show up. So variegated sometimes leave lines or blocks when stitching something solid. Yeah, that's why I said to change the angle. However, we can test that theory. Okay, so if you wanted to leave your fish like that, I think that's awesome. The colors are blended so the tail looks a little more white, blah, little more yellow, and this looks a little more blue, but it has blue in it, and I think that is really pretty, just as pretty as these guys. I kind of like it. I think that was a great discovery and a great suggestion, but I'm going to change it because I want to I forgot to hit apply. Bah, there we go, apply. Now we're going to be back to our turquoise. That might be you know, not good, but we're going to change it. Um, see if we can pick another color here. Add color. Add color? Oh, it just added one. That's not what I wanted. Reset default colors. Um, I was pretty sure I could select a variegated thread. I love the gradient on both the fish and tail. Remember, when you stitch it out, it looks way, way, way better than the digital idea of it. It's really awesome once you stitch it out. So if you're doing gradients on anything, give it a stitch out. You guys will be really surprised at what you can do and how it looks, and you'll get used to it a little bit faster. It's really cool. So I'm just looking here. I'm having a brain moment here. That is not what I wanted. Brother DMC. No, 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 sulky. Just give me a sec. Talk amongst yourselves. For some reason, I can't remember, and I know it is really easy, but I can't remember. New. Save palette. No. All right. Anyone remember how to do it? Struggling to gradient on PE10. Left click on the color. Oh, I'm right clicking. No, I want to pick another color. I want to bring in a variegated color. Elaine Chapman, thank you very much. I'm sorry I'm having a moment. It's the allergies. I just don't know why I can't think of it, but left click on the color to change it. No, that changes the color that you've selected, so maybe deselect it. Yeah, no, that's not what I want. I want to add a color because they have variegated colors. I wanted to pick one so we could have a general idea. Left click on the color to change it. No, I want to add. I want to add. I know you guys are saying that, but I want to add. This just adds like the next one. You see, it's 1, 2, 3. That's okay. There it is. It's a right click. So let's pick, I was just having a moment. Let's pick something really bright. So maybe this one. And now I'm gonna select my guy and left click. And that is what it would look like with variegated thread. How cool is that? I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. I think it's really cool that you can do that. So that would be really nice. Yes, you can add it. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? I think that is awesome. And the thread, the variegated thread that I picked, there was quite a few to select from. Light pink and dark pink. And you know what? I think that would be amazing. So the angle on this guy is, let's double check. You can see the angle line here. So then the question is, if we move the angle, not that, if we move the angle and hit apply, yeah, that still works too, doesn't it? You just have to be a little careful with the variegated thread, that it sometimes it just turns into blocks and it's kind of terrible. What about if we do it this way? Yeah, either way, I'm liking it. So of course, even if you have light pink and dark pink thread, it'll probably turn out a little bit differently. You see this one here, because it would depend, you know, it would depend on your thread. If you have shorter hot pink and light pink, then it would look a little bit different. It's just meant to give you a general idea. And personally, I think it's way cool to be able to do that. So we're going to leave this guy like this. I wasn't planning on doing pink, but what the heck? I realized I need another circle, and I need a smaller circle. and I need to fill that, and I'm gonna convert it to uh, complex fill or tatami, and I'm gonna make it black. And then I'm going to move it here. So we'll have this guy looking down. I was going to say rolling his eyes, but I'm not going to do that. And oh, he looks kind of weird. I think he looks kind of weird. So there's other things you can add to other ways. A lot of angelfish are stripy like this. Now these guys are quite a bit smaller. They're basically 2 by 2. And so you have to be careful when you're doing small designs. If you were to do like a satin stitch, it's going to be overwhelming to the design. So these stripes are simply bean stitches, and they will show up quite well. I decided to do a little outline on this guy. And this one is just a regular running stitch. So you can, even in the digital, you can see the difference. Now this one is just running stitches, or it was like a contour stitch with just running stitches in it. But you don't want anything too bulky on it. It's kind of weird. So let me show you this and this, and pull my keyboard out and do enter. See, that's a bit, to me, that's a bit overwhelming. And that's quite thin as well. Width, yeah, that's a little bit thin, but you see the difference? I think this looks way better, and it'd be even just a little bit softer, because if you were doing a whole bunch of stripes like that, I just think it's too much. Whereas if you're going to do a stripe here, it's not really so bad. Let's move out. Remember to always stand back. So let's put this back here. See, it would just take the view away, and you'd focus on these big thick stripes. So that's why I'm like, no. Smaller things, fine. Use what you have. See, now if you do see the difference? I hope you guys can see that well enough. Sharon Berger, thank you very much for the donation. I love that flying pear. He's really cool. So do you guys see the difference of how I did that? So for those reasons, that's why you can't take, if you had satin stitches on this guy, you can't take it from this size down to this size, because all you're going to see is the big satin stitches. And you can't make the satin stitches too thin, or they're not going to stitch out. So there we go. Strawberry angelfish. I love that, Misha. It does. I know. Is everyone going to get stitching now with their variegated thread? Because you can use any color of variegated thread, and if it were to stitch out just like that, I would be really happy. Isn't that cute? I'm going to make this a bit bigger. And because this guy's bigger, there's a lot of things that, detail work that we can do. Now he looks surprised. What the heck? Maybe because he turned pink, so it's a she now. Maybe on the variegated, a solid stripe would work. Yeah, and the size is more what I was talking about. However, you could, it gives me an idea. Thank you, Cindy. I'm going to do here, and I'm going to hold my control key down and left click, not right click as my habit wants to be. And then I'm going to go here, and let's see how this looks. So it's a little curve. Okay, that looks fine. How about we do it like this? That kind of blends in, but wow, that is displayed really well. Isn't that cute? But we could do like the pink or something like that. Do the pink, the dark pink. How about I select it first? Yes, please. There we go. Yep, I like that. I'm thinking gradient with the second color in metallic for a shiny fishy. Oh, I like how you think. That is awesome. That's Alicia Gentry. Yeah, I'm thinking that would be excellent. I have so much of that, not so much. I have one of each, I guess, of the King Star thread, and I think that would be an amazing use of it. Isn't that cute? I think I'm going to leave it like that. Maybe in a bolder color, we could add the blue. Select it first, Sue. Oh my goodness. There we go. Yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of like it. How about the select it first? Why do I keep making the same mistake? Oh, I kind of like that too. That looks more peachy, but it's still pretty nice. So another thing that I wanted to do is take this and I'm going to Control C, Control V, which is copy, and then paste. And I'm going to make it a little smaller. And that's not going to look the greatest. You have to have it a little bit larger. So for this one, I'm going to take off that part and make it yellow. And there we go. Another little fin, make it... Oh, I keep losing my stuff. It has to go way higher. Sorry about that. It was, I didn't look before I did that, and it's way up here. It's this one, isn't it? Nope, 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 nope. Ah, there it is. So we need to, what do we need to do? If you lose stuff like that, this is a beginner thing, but it's very, very frustrating for people. Well, why didn't that work? Think layers, okay? Layers. So this layer is underneath the basic fish body, and so you can't see it. So what do you have to do? You have to move it so it's over top. And if you look here, when you put your cursor over it, the picture gets a little bigger because I find it hard to see. I can generally see, but if you hover over its picture, you can see. So this has to stitch after, so it's on top, so you can just move it and boom, there it is. So there you go, a magic carp. I know what that is. I know what that is. So that's all I did. You can tell it's the same shape, but you don't go, oh, she copied it and pasted it. So I think our creative fish is coming along. Let's talk about this guy, because this would probably look really cool. This is a wave. Your software may or may not have it. It's kind of an extra thing, but may or may not have it. If your software does have it, this is how to do it here. So again, I don't have a shortcut to use because I have the whole thing going on. I'm going to leave the variegated thread. It may look a little bit confusing when I do this, but let's see. Why not? Copy paste. So I'm going to copy and paste it. Now it does need to go underneath, but I just want to show you this effect. It's up here and it is called wave. And I may play around with the density. Well, how weird is that? You can't really see it. That gives it a whole different look, doesn't it? Wow. Oh my goodness. Wow. This is the wave. Okay, so let's change it to a more dramatic color. And it changes everything. Okay, so I don't think I really like that for this one, but we can change the density. I think it's because, let's try this. I think it's because, there it is, of the color. So there you go. It's purple underneath. It's red. I want these lines moved out a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. But you can see it better on the smaller one in the colors I chose. I mean, it's okay. You can zoom in. You can see the red there. Let's select that one. I selected the wrong one. So red, wave. Let's bring it up. So if something doesn't work the first time, you know, making changes on the density and the stitch length and different things like that may or may not make it look better. So I'm not thinking that works very well on the larger one, but you can change the wave of it, I guess, was what I was trying hard to get to. Not succeeding yet, but trying hard to get to. So I don't really like that, but let's do it anyways here. Yeah, not so much. Too big, doesn't work. But I'm going to go into node mode on that one. Why did we stop? There we go. Did we apply? Yes. And node mode. And wrong one. Anyways, we won't fiddle around with that. I'm gonna delete that, and I am gonna go back to the variegated thread, because I found that really, really enjoyable. So let's go ahead and delete that. I have some variegated thread now. I have a little bit more, and I think that'll be fun to play around with it. Variegated thread, you can use it in a lot of different ways. So let's change it. Still the wave. Oh, and it goes back. Something's going on. Something's going on. Let's go right here, and we are going to delete it. And we're back to the purple, and I'm going to change it to the variegated because I really like that. And I think that is a groovy fish. So do you think I should leave this? Because I mean, it's okay if I do it this way. Oh, hey, I like that. Just a couple clicks. There we go. What are we saying? When you have a small object, it usually adds unnecessary stitches by cutting it out. Yep, it does. True story. I am not cutting anything out. I trimmed this, but for this part, I'm going to stitch it right over. I mean, obviously, if you have black stitching and you do white over top, some of it may show through. The big key to it, though, is to make sure that it is stitching in a different angle. So this angle is going this way, you can see, and this one's pretty close. It's not exactly, but I think you should make sure that the angles are differently, and then it sits down on top of it much better. So that's the key to it. Honestly, I rarely cut stuff out. Sharon Berger says the eye looks like googly eyes. I love googly eyes. If you guys have ever noticed, on Ragnar, he has, which is my 10 needle machine, there's two eyes, because I just thought it looked like he needed googly eyes. So he has googly eyes, and some people notice it and some people don't. Oh, right, I need to remember the different angles, Cindy King. Yes, angles are very important. If you do like these two objects, and like the body of the fish and the tail of the fish, and you do them in the exact same color, and you guys should try this. Just do it with squares or something simple, that if you do the angle of the body this way and the fin going this way, it'll look different. The light hits it differently, and you'll be able to see. It's a really clever way of getting more texture and detail in. Can you do a video on your brother's scan and cut? Yep, done it. Been there, done that. Yep. I put false metallic lashes on my sewing machine. Why not? Why not? I don't know. I have a drawer with googly eyes, just in case I find a place for it. Fake eyelashes. This girl now, I keep saying this guy, will look pretty with eyelashes. And you know what? Because we've done this one bigger, you could add those details. The smaller ones, it just seriously wouldn't show up. So yeah, I kept this one simple with the wave, this one a little more things, but look what we came up with, and it's absolutely nothing like these guys at all. Nothing at all. So he's quite a bit bigger. The pink one is quite a bit bigger than the others, and you could add even more detail to it. If you're not going to use the variegated thread, because I think the variegated thread keeps it busy, you could use a motif stitch over top and angle it in a different way so it looks like scales, like the mermaid scales sort of thing. That is always a lovely thing to do. How do you change angles? It is always in node mode. And for this one, you can see the yellow line that goes across. That's how you can tell. And on this software, green is where it starts and red is where it stops. The red's down here, and this is the angle. So to change the angle, you just move it and then hit apply or enter, and you see how it changed. So node mode, if you get a little confused, it's very important. It changes, this is how we changed the design completely from two triangles, right? So get used to your node mode and use it. I thought this was a really cool picture. Triangle to that, to that, to that. So hopefully you guys are seeing shapes and seeing what you can do with shapes. I think this is the best way to learn. And again, you can use any software. We just did shapes. If you don't have shapes, although most digitizing software has something. Isabel Brion says it needs a mouth. All right, I'll quickly put a mouth on just for fun. Should we give him a cheesy smile, or is he just going to be... Well, he's probably happy that he's created, right? So let's control and then there and enter. And that doesn't show up very well, so let's make it black. And then I'm going to change it to bean stitch, and then it'll show up more. All right, so he's a very happy angelfish. And I think for funny, I would put a halo over it just because of that. That's it. That's it. So you guys have fun playing in your software. I look forward to your original one-of-a-kind angelfish designs, and try seeing shapes. Try seeing shapes in everything that you do. It's really cool way, and it's a really good trick to learn. You will find that most people can't digitize without clip art, and you can. It doesn't have to be, huge. It doesn't have to be a big deal. It doesn't have to be detailed, but you can sit and play with it and see, what you can do with it. I could make this a lot more complex. As long as I have the basic outline of them, I could do way more. You could do shading, you could do a lot of stuff. So make it as complex as you want and enjoy. So thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys have a ton of fun making your angel-ish fish. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on Saturday for the next video. Bye!